This 90-second summary sponsor special is provided to you by Main Street Insider. President Obama proposed an infrastructure bank in his fiscal year 2012 budget and is expected to renew the call in Thursday's address to Congress. Representative Rosa DeLauro is the sponsor of a leading infrastructure bank bill, H.R. 402, a bill she sponsored last session as well. We sat down with her in September of 2010 to learn more about this legislation.
What does the infrastructure bank actually do?
Well, let's put it into perspective. I happen to think it's an important moment for the concept of an infrastructure bank and the financing of public investment. There are a couple of dynamics that are moving this forward. One is the size of the federal deficit, which makes traditional financing, or conventional financing, if you will, for infrastructure less likely, and having to find new ways to look at investment in infrastructure. And secondly, the need for a national growth policy and how we put the U.S. economy on a track for future economic growth, economic security for families. I'm not talking here about a stimulus program, a recovery program. The focus is, how is it that we're going to be able to, in the United States, create jobs, increase wages, and compete with the economic power centers of the world, the global market as well. And it is about creating good paying jobs here and middle class jobs for families. That's what this is all about. Normally the way we look at where the funding goes, in terms of these projects, it's the decisions are made on geography and on politics. This is an opportunity to depoliticize this process as well. Gets it out of this area of earmarks and more on the analytical side of a project that is of national significance and something that will increase the economic opportunity broadly. And there isn't a place now where you have this broad range. I'm not talking about one specific area. There's a broad range of infrastructure which we would need to focus on. And in addition to that, in order that one can get private investors, and I'm talking about privatization, I want to get their capital and I want to use it for building in the United States. This is a nation that's been built on bricks and mortar and fiber optics. And this is about building America and creating jobs. Los Angeles has something called the 3010 Project. Mayor Villaraigosa, who testified on supporting of an infrastructure bank, because they need to rebuild their transit system, and they put together their plan, and what they had to do is they went to the folks from Los Angeles, and they, through referendum, they increased their sales tax by 0.5 cent in order to pay for this. So that's a dedicated revenue stream for this project. It's intended, I think it's a $40 billion project to take 30 years. What he wants to do, and how a bank could help him, is that if he could get a loan from the bank, this is a project that could be done in 10 years versus 30 years. That already brings down the cost of the project.
So that's where 30...
That's the 30-10. He wants to go from 30 to 10, and he has a defined revenue stream in order to pay back the loan and to give the investor return on an investment. So that really is a model for what could happen, which is why he's so out front in the debate on it. This concept, by the way, has broad support. The U.S. Chamber is very supportive of it. At the same time, the unions. At the same time, the Governors Association, Governor Rendell, Governor Schwarzenegger, Mayor Bloomberg, they have the program Rebuilding America, And Governor Rendell has testified. The Governors Association put together a resolution in support of this effort. You've got the general contractors, the civil engineers. We're told that it's about $2.2 trillion in a shortfall. There aren't enough. We can't get to federal resources in this way. We just don't have the money to do it. We've got to have a cooperative relationship with the private sector.
For more information on the Infrastructure Bank and other bills in front of Congress, go to mainstreetinsider.org.